both the YouTubes um, and the Twitches.
Let's see if I can. Let me see if I can call this thing up.
Yeah, I mean, I can see you through here, so at least on Twitch we're live. Our bitrate's probably going to be garbage, but who knows? Oh, my phone's buzzing. Yeah, now live on your channel. Well, YouTube. All right, sweet. Oh, I think Millette's on YouTube and Keo. Sweet.
Yep.
Well,
Oh Lord, that's my face there.
that's my face there. Oh, do I have to bring up something so that I can actually see our chat? This probably would be wise. Why don't I do that? But I think other than that, I think we're cooking. I think we're cooking. It'll be funny if I
Cooking.
can't bring it up. Let's see. Show me. Show me my bookmarks. Anyhow, welcome aboard.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, old buddy.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Yeah. Like the terror is like slowly subsiding.
That's good. As one would hope.
Yeah, it's scary to quit your job.
It is scary to quit your job.
I know I've said this before, but I've never quit a job like this before. Like the normal way, where you give your notice and then have a plan.
It's pretty wild.
Yep.
So where?
Here we are, and I'm stoked.
Where? I have no idea where I'm gonna find chat for this.
Yeah, I'm
That
also looking for it. I think my window's just like too small.
it's like connect kick. I don't think I want to. I mean, I'll see the Twitch side of it, but members. Oh, I could invite members past video storage. I don't want any of that. What I want is a window called. Let's see, docs. Chat. Did it work? Alright, the chat is waiting for new messages. Sweet.
Cool.
All right.
Man, it's so small.
Gotta get you a bigger screen.
I know. There's probably some sweet add-ons or something that would make this. All right, I can see it well enough.
All right. Well,
Um,
hopefully people
yeah.
will drop in and say whether or not the audio is absolutely garbage right now. But I think I have the chat up, which should be dual stream chat, and it should tell me where someone's from. And I think probably both the people that are watching are probably us.
Yep, I see
So
two.
this is a pretty normal meeting. So yeah, welcome aboard. Obviously,
Yep.
like you and I have been talking about games, for a decade and a half,
Mm-hmm.
passing weird Dwarf Fortress legacy build, uh, back and forth, playing Blood Bowl digitally, working at the same place a couple of times.
Yep. Yeah, no coincidence there. Game industry is small, and when you make good connections, you tend to keep those if you're smart. I think I'm smart. The
I think you're pretty smart too.
the Blood Bowl stuff is just a hoot. Like all like I think you just listed out like some of the most punishing, painful
Yeah,
games.
as they're all crucible games of just like if you can enjoy passing a Dwarf Fortress, legacy to someone else and have it come back entirely built differently. If you can square
Come
up
back
with
ruined.
someone, yeah, come back ruined. If you could square up and like both teams on the pitch knowing that your star player, not technical star player, your best developed Blood Bowl player might get killed by a good buddy, you're probably in pretty good shape. And still have fun. I mean, if you can play Warhammer with someone consistently, you're probably in good shape.
Yeah, Warhammer can be rage inducing.
We just kind of have a good time with it. I mean, the stuff gets chewed up. I mean, I basically, last week during our offsite, just basically marched towards you and got shot up. Essentially what I did.
Yeah. Let's not forget that I cheated a bunch because I thought that the Wavefield crest gave me Invul 4 up,
across the
and it
board.
didn't
Yeah,
for that squad.
yeah. I mean that's
That,
fine, but at the same time, what I'm getting at is I wouldn't have known if that was a real rule or not, and I still had fun doing it. Like that's the important
yeah,
part, the essential
yeah,
part.
like it's fun.
So we're gonna try to do this meeting live every Monday and Thursday. Um, you know, the part of the point here of partnering up and really full timing this is like, being able to keep normal schedules, not crunch like crazy, not crunch at all, optimally, and just,
Yeah,
plug away at this with good, honest diligence, but also be super candid about what we're making, take some people along for the ride. Um,
yeah,
because you don't get that at big studios. They don't get to talk about everything, and it's like I appreciate it and I've done it, but it's like there's always a canned PR element to it. And we
yeah.
don't have to
I
do
think
that.
I think one of the interesting challenges that like I'm now feeling sitting here and on stream is that like I'm gonna have to forget that this is also PR, right?
It is PR. Like uh, make no mistake. I mean, part of this also when we discussed it was that like, hey, we are. I mean, we're not nobodies, but like, frankly, we are not big name people, even though we've been around forever. And you know, it's the two of us who talked about it. Like, we got to double up on time. So if we can have, some productive meeting time that is also, putting a face to the games that we make, that's a win. And frankly, I do run into grillions of people um, that had never seen how the sausage is made. And obviously, this is a big studio sausage, but um, but it is real. Like that's what I want to do is like give people a real sort of bit of insight into what it takes to make something, albeit amazingly humble, as an offering. So, you know, and I think this will also be good because we get to keep the recordings of this, and it keeps us honest with ourselves. Saying something publicly um, is like potentially horrifically bad if you're a major studio, but if you're being honest all the time as an indie, it's just like, yeah, we're trying to keep. This is the pace we're trying to keep up with. This is what we're trying to do right now. Um,
Sounds like a super noble challenge too. I feel like we're going to discover along the way reasons why people don't do this, and they might feel a
yeah,
little.
I think we will screw some stuff up.
Like I think of like the no like I think like maybe the worst example like the No Man's Sky, super public about their development, big promises, didn't deliver. Like oh man, I
Yeah,
feel
I
so
mean,
bad.
I don't think that that's like a good path. At the same time, there was a little bit of the super public with development and couldn't keep promises are like there's a little conflict there because like you and I are pretty grounded people, and especially when you and I think this will be consistent when you look at a game like Craft, it's like it's pretty reasonable. Um, it's so far been pretty reasonable as like one dude, his crap code, some help with sprites, and I think it's still pretty reasonable as like two nerds, two beards and classes, white dudes, uh, making a game. Like it's
Yeah,
not we're not promising the universe, but we are, you know, really going for it. I don't think there's ever going to be some special trailer that's like in a world, blah blah, that isn't ironic. Um, this is this is. I mean, I've said this before. This is like cottage industry game making.
I mean I love thinking about Craft. It's so like it's leverage. Like you're right that it's like a modest game. The art is modest. the scope is modest, but you've applied a huge amount of pressure through the depth of all of those trees.
Yeah, it's that's one way to put it, which is good. It, I think it also like
Pressure is a weird word. You've applied a huge amount. I mean, leveraging your time on it, right?
yeah. Well, I think that's one of the reasons why this merger is good is that I have some amount of strengths in some spots. Like I've had to manage some pretty large data sets of things like gear and crafting and whatever in the past. And so for me, like a path of relatively light resistance when making a game is putting a lot of stuff in it. Because I'm not really worried about. I mean, it's hard work, but like the game economy isn't something that freaks me out. Code does, sound ideas do, and like picking you up is like, all right, I can still have as much involvement in things as I want, but I could feel a lot safer coming to design decisions because like we're just doing it collectively, and certainly have a lot more faith in code. um, it's just
some of that in my time.
a bit. So I think it's good, and I can get by, and I will continue to write funky little scripts of things and whatever. But there comes a point where if you could find someone whose bread and butter it is that you get along with and that you have a lot of good design simpatico with, I'm psyched.
Yeah.
That's my point. And it's also it's been like being out there alone on this, just like publicly, it's like a little unnerving. Like as soon as it's two people, it's like the Blues Brothers rather than Mariah Carey. Celine Dion.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. You and I riff on each other like really, really well.
Yeah, solo just takes such like iron nerves, and you have to be sure that your perspective is grounded because there's no other one coming your way anytime soon.
I mean, even today, just like there's a day-to-day schedule. I can't express to you like, hey, we are going to stream at this time. Like settling a bunch of that into place just makes the work healthier. I mean, preceding your arrival, it was like, I'm going to do stuff when I do stuff. And that's neat, and you get a lot done that way. I don't know that it's optimal.
Not for me. I mean, I used to think that freedom was the only virtue that mattered, and like that's not really. That's not how I work best.
So, like, tangibly speaking, we now Go On Entertainment and its double size version now. We have Cruft.
Twice the fun.
Twice better be more than twice the fun. We got Cruft. It's a demo. We've got big hopes and dreams, not No Man's Sky big. But we should probably rap a little bit about what's next. Because yes, I blogged about it, but like I don't expect everyone to go through LinkedIn and read my dumb blog. I can clean brushes while we talk.
I'm like fiddling with thumbtacks. Yeah.
So the hope is, in the near future, what we're going to do is we're going to take what's in the demo, which is very much one level with almost all the stuff in it, and pull that together in such a way. You do realize the stream is entirely your face. Do you want to like bring Cruft up?
I'm going to bring up. Oh, you want an actual game up?
Yeah, maybe. See how it runs. I mean, it'll literally be a meeting with you streaming through to this stream, but it's probably better if you run, even if it's a little slideshowy through uh, a meeting call and then out through the tubes of my house. At least sets context. So it's one level, and it's got almost all the stuff up till now. I shouldn't even say that. It's got about 60% of all the stuff that's in the game up till now in it. And the point of doing a demo this way was to like empty the bucket of Legos and let people go in completely for free and play with the Legos and get a bunch of really good feedback on it. And we like it was definitely successful in that regard. Now, what we want to do for the actual full game is have different levels and have a reason to play this one, say, than that one, and get something from the first one that you carry forward to the second one, and give the game an interesting arc so that it's worth opening for more than one run. And obviously, what that does is it requires a lot of architecting to make that possible. A one trick pony, a one level game, especially in Unity, tends to be like, hey, this is the only level I know. There are not levels, there is only Zool. So I think that, for us in the coming weeks is like the really big step. It's just teasing those out and then putting the mechanisms in that allow you.
Yeah, like we have we have a shed. It's a one room structure, and it needs to be like an office building with an elevator. So yeah, there's going to be like a bunch of big stuff outside everything that you've got so far being added on, and we're going to find little ways that like it wasn't built for multiples. That'll be refactoring. Refactoring's fun and it's buggy
and I think every engineer wishes they could go back in and like look at code more and more times. And I think, I think for you, like the coming weeks are like a chance to get in there and really be like, how do we actually want to do this? Like the demo is one thing, early access is another. What do we want to accomplish? And I think, obviously like you've played the daylights out of the demo.
Yep.
I think it'll be really interesting to see like how we choose to design levels, how to differentiate. There we go. What's cool, what's not, and how much to limit things. How I want it to work is that I go in, I play through the tutorial, I get some cool stuff, and then I pick a place to go to, and I do some slightly different things using the same skills, and then I do some different stuff. And then I leave that place and I go to a third place with what I picked up from the tutorial and the first, legit level that I played. And I do even different stuff. And we can get that flow going. Oh, that shader looks so much better.
Yeah, this is probably first look anybody gets that cool new shader.
It's so much less painful now. I mean, you work with what you got. Well, like I think I think the shaders right now are just like kind of a good example of just like there's a lot of stuff the game needed and needs to. I don't want to use like biz talk, like go to the next level. Like that's corny, but like there's just a lot of improvement that needs to be done. Like I'm
elevate the dish.
Yeah, to elevate the dish. I'm just looking forward to a lot of like general purpose journeyman improvements on it that make the game feel better. I mean, we know that like people that like the game like the game. As far as people playing the demo goes, like it's some pretty deep play into it. Hours and hours and hours. Even when you like, ignore the folks at the top of top of the funnel because they left the game on overnight or whatever. Like there's a lot of people who play the game, for hours and hours and hours, and it's just a tiny little demo. You want to, you want to have the muscle and the time to do maybe not everything you want to make it look good, but as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, I think both of us come from places where every hour somebody spends has to be spent well, and so like none of that goes away. It gets worse. It gets worse,
Mhm.
right? Um, so yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, like going over the code with an engineer's eye, but like also we're going over the project with a as business partners, being like, is a big refactor that doesn't move the ball forward towards early access worth it? Like,
Yeah,
so
a lot of decision making. And then I love Croft, but it's not the only game we're ever going to make. And like
right.
those are important things. The capabilities we have with collective time and effort we can put in, opens things up for a variety of not just like options based on skill, but like you and I talk about games all the time. I saw
It's just like
that lingering feed.
it it didn't want to be let go.
Didn't
Got a little side note here. I'm going to take a side note.
indeed. Always paper at the ready. So, you know, I'm very, very happy with where the game is as a demo. And I really want to like turn the corner, getting it into early access and having it have like a bunch of hours of play for people who like the gameplay. But then also for like not everyone, I don't expect everyone to be like, oh my god, Croft is the best thing I ever played. But like I want to make sure that if you like it, it does go somewhere. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it can't be the best game for everybody, right? Like, I think that's one of the charming things about Craft is that like I think it's the best game for somebody.
I think that's a very good way to put it. Um, it's like it sits very well. Um, if it's your jam, it's your jam, and it does deliver. Uh, but it is absolutely not a game for everybody. That's certainly true. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of that what went into the thought behind it was that like, you know, certainly myself and certainly a lot of people just have a lot of weird hobbies and there's like keeping your space clean or at least workable.
I'm into that. As you watch me push Craft into this little.
Yeah, and as you can see from my desk, I don't always do the best job of it. Like, I've got all my minis up that I paint, and my desk, like, not exactly pretty, but it works. It works for me. And one of the things I like about the game is like, I, I am not an organizational mastermind, um, at all. And yeah,
Someone's got to just up the water pressure on that.
yeah,
Note.
I feel like we should also consider shadering it a little bit. Obviously, like not blow the machine up, but maybe rainbow, maybe gold, something that kicks it up a bit.
Ready for pizza?
I am ready for pizza. It's a big moment. It's how you work your way into Tim's heart.
He loves to make pizza. I think you should love to eat pizza because we're the one making pizza.
It's true. But he, much like father to son, father to daughter, he's passing on the legacy. Not that the actual narrative in there says that at all. He loves everything about pizza.
What's wrong with this screen right now?
The let's see, 20. You've got 24 Croft, and the top right says 26. No, you don't even. You're not even close. No, sorry.
No, my current tutorial step is to unlock the magnet, but there is nothing highlighted on my screen.
Go down.
Right. I think at this step, it probably needs like a.
Like a camera move.
We need to force the camera here because if I was actually zoomed in, I would never. Not never, but I would be stuck.
That's not a bad call.
clack type.
I can't tell if it's because you are streaming the meeting to me and then I'm streaming out to the universe, whether or not that shader looks like a line going right to left.
It looks like that on my screen with
Okay.
no stream in between.
All right, it's probably fine. It's certainly not as seizure inducing as it used to be.
It definitely reveals something about the shader, like it's like it doesn't scale to this particular artwork. You know, that's just weird, right?
We got too big. It's like the sun rising and setting and having a line in it, but
you got a lot of
transparent pixels there.
Yeah, a lot of transparent pixels that are getting big neon highlighter on them.
I feel like now that you're looking this close,
it's extremely close.
that, and it's, you know, judging through a stream is tough, but like I think there is a bit more dirtiness on the ground. I feel like something's not quite right. Something unintentional.
Yeah, some of the noise, now that I look at it, looks a little doubled up.
Yeah, it does. Looks very doubled up.
Yeah. Wow.
Huh.
Well, another note.
Another note.
All right. So let's unlock the magnet. Move on from this.
I wonder if like just I don't want to go back and like redo the UI, but I wonder if the text size should just be like 4 points higher across the board. Like screens are pretty big these days, but like people do play on laptops. I don't know.
You were talking about that pop-up that I blew through.
I mean, everything the pop-up that you did, like everything is like, yeah, I'm watching you through the meeting, but at the same time, like it's legible through the meeting, which is a good sign. But I don't know. Not gonna do it in the short term.
We could. I mean, a lot of that stuff could be driven by a single configurable value.
I think we would need. I think I'm going to worry about it when we get like mouse over in there.
We have a maple tree out in the backyard that is now died.
Oh dear.
Looks pretty dead. So in honor of that maple tree, I'm going to try and grow some trees.
How noble.
And to grow trees, I need to sell pizza.
Your path to entrepreneurial success is
paved pizza crust.
It's paved in pizza crust. Good way to go to like fire and brimstone.
What do I need? I need dough.
Don't we all?
This. Start composting.
The compost industrial complex is essential. I think
oh, we got a I was so excited to collect because it looked like it was counting down to 0, but the gear is covering the minute.
That's bad. Sort order. Maybe a different corner. I mean, it probably doesn't.
Yeah, changing the corner is probably less fussy than the sort order.
Yeah. Let's see.
All right, can I sell some pizzas?
Station. Corner.
You probably can't hear the sweet tunes on your end, can you?
I can't, in fact, hear the sweet tunes.
Well, if you see me bobbing my head, it's because of the sweet tunes.
I could just play the tunes in the background. We have background music over and over again as if I have not heard those songs.
Yeah, well, you got the rights to them.
I
That
do
would.
have the rights to them. It would be funny though, because it would probably be like, we're detectives and blah blah. It'd probably still get all up in us.
One of these is a maple tree, right?
I think the trees are alphabetical.
There it is.
This was one thing that I organized okay at one point because I got frustrated.
So one time you organized something.
I think they were like organized by price initially, and I was just like, oh my god, I can't find anything.
Yeah, I could see how that might be.
Best laid plans of mice and men. There's so much of game design is just the best laid plans of mice and men over and over and over again.
Well, so much of it is like you having to cope with the decisions you yourself made months ago.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that is like just like generically like the overarching thing. Whenever you play the game, you're like, some of this is just because this was decided this time, and it just simply has not changed yet. I mean, even at like a huge studio, you're often looking at like um just I swear I'm not trying to like market this game, but the game has craft. Like it's what it's got. It's got old crusty things
Yeah.
that you did once.
Yeah, like
It's
if
a
you're
thing.
go long enough, you leave a bunch of trash behind. Like that's like the stereotypical engineer thing is like, oh, very neat and prim. But like that's not. It's good. There's an ebb and flow to it.
There is an ebb and flow to it. I was talking to um, my buddy Noah. He was like, "So how are things going?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, today's a big day! Like, Will comes on board. The weather's nice. Like all these different things. Today
Whether
was as good an inaugural partnership day as possible." It's pretty sweet. Are you gonna get some taps going?
yeah, I was going to say now I got to figure out where to find a toe. Nice, portable too.
That tap very, very much looks like a tap on the side of your house.
Okay.
Proper pro maple tap.
Yeah, it looks like a silcock.
Don't know what that is.
I think that's a real thing. Tap on the side of the house. The faucet.
Oh, is that literally what it's called?
The outdoor. I think so.
Sweet. Learn something new every day.
This text is not too small. That's for sure.
It is not. It feels nice and chunky.
And it feels right at this size.
Yep.
Feels really big. This size.
In your face at that size.
Yeah, it's all right. All right. I should. I'm wasting potential just sitting here watching a timer tick.
I know. Get a sawhorse and just rip up that pine tree and sell it. Make that good.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I was thinking about getting the pig industrial complex going.
It's not a bad call. Not a bad call at all.
An OP move. Ryan's wheat.
So I think, I mean, we have gotten zero feedback, which is fine. But I think as long as the audio is good this way, then the setup is basically just like. So I'm going through something called Restream. So I think I just got to change the title and such. Every time we go, I should probably check the YouTubes and see if we're actually on that.
Here, let me drop the link on Trusted Associate. See if they'll get a. Pretty sure
Wonder
it's
if I can
not
just-
happening this time.
Oh, that's interesting. So through Restream, I can just click the link to it. Our image is cruft. Title Monday meeting's probably a pretty cruddy title, but no, it apparently works. It's kind of nice. I think the other thing that's good about YouTube is it just keeps the videos. Like Twitch, until you are affiliated, it doesn't hold anything. So you, but I mean, they're two different, very different channels. But like you just
Yeah,
on Twitch, you're
right.
just like, all right, this is like for the live moment, and then a lot of people will check in later on YouTube. It is going to take us forever to build any following, and that is something like having done it before. Um, you know, it takes a bit, but at the very least, we got a ledger of our playthroughs. It also just, frankly, it gives us a bunch of video we can use for trailers and stuff.
Hey, talking about that leverage again, right? Like,
Yep. Only so many hours in the day.
right.
I can't believe you live like this.
What do you mean?
No sawhorse.
Sorry.
You do
was
you do
gonna
what you
get-
want. You do what you want.
What was I getting? I forget what I was getting. I was trying to make more pizza. Yeah, no sawhorse, but I like this pine tree.
That's everybody plays differently, man.
Apple sapling. Let's see if we can make that into a real apple. There we go. Getting some value now. Gonna move the poop away from my pizza.
How noble.
Is that it for my sauce? That is it for my sauce. There.
Sad day.
Nope. No more sauce. Oh, I was gonna get pig. That's what I was gonna get. But not from her. From who? From you.
My alter ego. You do that, little baby pig.
Put him inside this rectangle.
For 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Cook them on medium.
I think that's a different workshop, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's this one. Smoker. I've made this mistake many times, which is not get animal feed going.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, you could just keep buying it, but like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's priced right now where like when you don't have to do that anymore, it's a lot better.
Okay. Do you want to buy more pizzas? You don't. What if I do this? Still don't want pizzas.
Let's see.
So I was looking at task breakdown for the next arc,
Yep.
and there's probably some planning that needs to happen around the like achievement screen.
Oh, you mean like design of it?
Yeah, like that, like UI details to work out there.
You want to work out those details?
I think so. I mean,
Hey, we got a bot. Sweet. Best viewers on Stream Boo.
Nice.
Our first pinging from a bot after
They
40
found us.
minutes. They found us. We're in. Yeah. You want to like? I can't change that screen from that to that. I can go into like Miro and rock it out.
Yeah, we could go into Miro and rock it out.
Yeah.
Do you want to drive the Miro, or do you want me to do it?
I think you've got to show the Miro because I've got you up on my Cintiq, pleasantly maximized.
Okay.
In retrospect, maybe in the future I put you somewhere else.
Sorry, I'm too addicted to Craft.
Aww. Which means I won't be able to draw. Oh, we have a UI Hellscape already. Of course.
All right, let me. Should I just let it tick.
You said what screen are you working on?
What?
What are we doing in Miro?
The Chivo screen here.
Yeah.
Let me. Okay, so stop presenting this thing. Start presenting this thing.
Yeah.
I've decided to pause it actually. Okay. How's? Oh boy. Here we are. Chivo screen. Okay.
Hey. Good to see you, buddy.
All right. Yeah. So. Yeah. So I was looking through it all, and in the line, the line of my to do I have for this is just like there's a Chivo screen, and it shows you all the possible achievements and bonuses, like the crafting UI.
Do we think this fits on the phone, or is just an app on the phone that opens a bigger screen? Because that's my biggest concern.
I really like the phone as a concept and portal to other things.
All right.
So there's probably both a like landing screen in the phone, and then it is going to be a huge amount of information, so we probably can't keep it all in the phone all the time, right?
I think you're probably right.
So there's probably like a top level screen in the phone, and then there's a bigger screen that you open to from that screen.
Yeah. So in that case, probably looking at like I think very similarly. Where is it right now? Is the person's picture up here? If I go in and see Tim, is he on the left or is he centered?
Look, I have the game open. I'll look right now. Here's what I'll do. You talking about like the shop screen?
Yeah. Keep some continuity there in terms of spacing. Yeah. He's on the left.
I mean, this layout is. I don't think I'm being rude by saying rough. This is a rough layout.
You're not being rude.
So let's not pay it forward too much.
No, but
I mean, this is already centering the profile in the top left is better.
So like,
you do have to leave room for that like battery row.
I mean, obviously these aren't be pixel perfect here, just in terms of where stuff is. Watch this. I have characterized them as being super important. And then essentially you've got what I think we have here. Craziness is. Oh my god, how do we condense an achievement so that it's like you've got at least 3 per screen and you're scrolling, maybe 4? Or
Yeah, what does
do we have the minimized version over here, relatively thin, and then if I tap one of these, it then opens something bigger. So like maybe we get to like
yeah, what is the difference between the top level screen and the deeper screen?
Like name.
I think like I think what we want to show you when you know, at a glance with the fewest clicks to get there is what you're currently trending towards. And then you want to open up the larger screen for the whole hog.
So the top level, like what do we actually really need to show you?
I think what I'm working myself towards is we probably just need to work out what the, you know, what the list item for an achievement looks like. And then maybe the difference between these two views of it is, you know, the embedded phone version shows you what you're trending towards with maybe some progress or whatever. And then the expanded version is the same thing, but it's just a ton of them.
So where I'm sort of drilling in on is that I think the simplest thing I need to see, the very simplest thing, is like the icons of the stuff that should be sitting in my yard, or if it's a money requirement or whatever, like, and how many out of how many I've got. So like on each one of these, you're looking at like, be like, yo, I am uh, wheat grain, and I have 5 out of 10. Look at that. Who needs professional UI? And I need.
Yeah, this is the part that's like a lot like the crafting UI because you need some collection of stuff.
0 out of 1. But good lordy, I've got sweet corn. 10 out of 10. God, green's terrible. So I've got some progress here.
Yep.
That's a ribbon.
Yes, you guessed it.
It's a ribbon.
Programmer art.
Yeah. Huh. Then when I tap.
So what do I? Why do I want this one? Like, do I need to know that up here?
Yeah. So that's really the rub, isn't it?
Because there's like a lot of different things you can get.
Yep.
There are recipes, sort of a slightly abstract stat bonuses, output amounts. money, deeds, characters, yards. It's a lot.
I think we'll
Gotta make a
probably
list.
have some special purpose icons that are for things like yards. I think obviously the incorporation of a name is important, but if I tap on this thing and it gives me everything. Oh, thank you by the way for like noting those out. Where I'm like,
I'm gonna list them all out.
yeah. Text. So if I'm like, let me oh, it's in here somewhere. Did I brainstorm some of this crap? Ah, so this might get us to some like icon language. All right, so
I
this
think
would
these
be
are the things.
yeah. So in the case I just pulled over from the other side of the Miwo. Um, this might be something like
Multiple recipes.
yeah. So what if all right, next time we stream, I'm taking my Cintiq back. What if this reads something like burlap sacks and so what you get is like we give you an icon of some sort that represents recipes. We're like, yo, this is a recipe. Recipes generic icon. Send it out, buddy. That's gonna be what you get. Over here, take this bigger window. We're like, yo, dog, you gonna get ungroup this. Can I ungroup it? Boink. We're like, yo, this thing is dope. It's called burlap sacks. What you need is like this. And then what you get, obviously not sized that way, but like, and what you also get is like yappity blah about this achievement. Flavor text. This obviously needs to be icons too. So get rid of that and go like, yo.
So is this a full? Is the is this detail panel also within the frame of the phone?
No.
This is a pop-up.
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
No, you go for it. You go for it. This is working in parallel. My point here, though, and this is an important little nugget, is that leaves the phone up on the right, so I can cycle through these, and it'll just change the pop-up. If that makes sense. If the pop-up's in the center, then what I could do is tap the first one and get this pop-up in the middle. But I can also tap the third one right now without leaving the full menu and just go, what's this one? What's that one? What's this one? At the top level, I'm just getting an iconic representation of what I'll get out of it and where I'm at in terms of stuff that goes into it, stuff I'm going to get audited for.
A lot of the other pop-ups have this. They like darken the screen, and when you click outside of them, it dismisses the pop-up, but it doesn't interact with anything. What you're describing is more like a tooltip behavior. Is that what we actually want?
I mean, tooltip would be like I'm hovering. What I'm saying is that when I go into the Chivos app, it's got a full listing, and if I tap any one of them, it's. What I'm saying is that I don't leave the Chivos app and come back to pick another. If I want to look through all of my achievements, I just scroll through them like it's my playlist.
Right. I want to suggest that tapping one of these list items just expands it and you get all of this info, but I don't want to implement that.
Well, then don't suggest it.
Yeah. That'll be annoying. That'll be annoying to do with Unity's like list view stuff.
Yeah. So the other thing about this being like somewhat celebratory is that I think having a little extra space for it and finding spots where we can take. I now I understand what you mean by it being similar to like mouse over. Is that like, hey, it is a more detailed thing. Is that like having a space with bigger text that is like being super clear about what the requirements are, has a bit of extra flavor in it. There are fewer of these. These Chivos are what you do to just grow in the game, and I'd like them to get bigger treatment than buying 10 sacks of wheat.
That checks out. Sure.
And then what we do when you have achieved one and you've left, when you come back, we just sort the completed ones to the bottom.
I mean, this will be I feel like this is going to be an unwieldy list here in the phone. Like we're showing you stuff that you're trending towards.
Yep.
Am I going to be able to scroll all the way to the bottom and see stuff that I have no, see every single, is every single achievement in this list here from the phone?
Well, if you go, because you're stuck driving, if you go to where I am on the left, like here are the early thoughts on achievements. So the count here, of course, I didn't do them like 5 per row. So it's 13, 20, it's like 25 in here now. And I haven't really thought about this all that much, which means that that's a list of like 25 things. But if we sort them in such a way that at the top are the things you're closest to getting, closest to achieving. Does that make that less unwieldy?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to scroll as much. In memory, we still have to loop through them all on updates, which might not be great.
As a player, as I'm playing the game, and I mean like player life cycle.
Oh, you can't keep the phone open while you're playing, anyways.
Which is true.
So that's
when you go back, you go back. That's a very good point. So, as I'm playing, I'm a new player. I have X amount of Chivos up there. After 3 months, your friends at Go On Entertainment have added 4 more Chivos, but you've been playing a while, so a decent chunk of them are knocked down to the bottom of the list because they're completed.
Do we even show completed ones in this list?
I feel like as a collector, I don't want to obliterate them when they're gone.
Well, we're are we still operating under the design that there's a more info screen that's bigger than the sheet than the thing we're riffing on now?
I don't know. You tell me. What would be in the more info screen?
Uh, Achievements that you've completed, the full list of achievements, and maybe they're all rendered out in their full details. I don't know.
And their full 16 by 16 icon details. Um,
No, I mean in their full, like, what did you get? What did you have to do? How flavorful is their text? Their flavor text? I don't know.
and no, I mean, I don't know that you don't know. You posit a very interesting thing of like, do I have the quick view in my phone, and is the pop up in the middle of the screen not simply an entry for the thing, but it opens, excuse me, up that more info and quick links me to the one I happened to tap to.
Ah, I like that. I hadn't considered that. Yeah, it sounds like one of the problems that we're trying to like zero in on is that the real estate inside the phone UI, which we like using, but it doesn't support it. I'm worried that it won't support the entirety of the information we want to convey. Like you said, the achievements are important enough that they deserve more space than just how to buy 10
Yeah,
pine
it's the
planks.
phone's great for shorthand.
Yeah, so the phone in mostly what we expect people to do is be driving at, one or two achievements, and those are, you know, per run. So I don't need to look at most of the achievements most of the time. I just need to look at the ones I care about, which hopefully sort to the top as you make progress towards them. So to me, the phone is like the tip of the iceberg info I want, and then, but we're not going to be able to put all. I mean, maybe we can. Maybe this info panel that we have here, uh, it,
By the way, I'm updating our stream title to Monday Game Design.
this. I mean, what if this just ends up fitting here? Sorry, cool phone icons.
I don't. I'm really hesitant with the what if this just fits here. I feel like
You're probably right.
I feel like
Oh,
the
I'm
text for the item you have selected when you're shopping right now, like that's kind of okay, but it's also like this super vertical text block.
Yeah, yeah,
And it reads like a
yeah.
newspaper article.
Right.
Like I don't know. It's tough.
I think that mostly what I want out of an achievement is like you've got here the progress and what I'm going to get. And if we put that on the small pill, what's left on the big pill or on the big panel? It's like the flavor text.
It's the flavor text. It's
I guess the thing you get probably deserves a bit more info. Like
like I think what you get
there's
is
like a version of that for each of these
yeah.
things.
I feel like um I feel like this icon here. Oh, it's highlighting the text, not the object. Dope. I think like the yeah. This isn't a recipes generic icon. This is a reward generic icon. I think that's very simply like that's an icon for recipes, or
Yeah.
it's an icon for craft outputs, or it's an icon for like time. And so like we don't have to be explicit here at the actual what you're getting. We're telling you the category of reward, and when I go into here, it is explicit rewards and associated. I think you want to pull the word recipe out of there.
I was gonna demonstrate.
Oh, yeah. Yard award, yeah. And then if this icon here is like a little on the tiny side, then I think to your point, in all its glory, um, with this much space, we can say take the icon that would show up in the um, pick your next yard thing, and like we'll have the space to show that here, or the space for 5 recipes to be shown here.
Like you probably want to know what the recipe is, Nate.
Yeah, and it's probably like several. I mean, in this case, like we're often dishing out multiple recipes. It's the recipes and their flavor text. Is that crazy? That's probably too much.
I mean, if we've got a full pop-up for it, we got the space.
We got maybe. I mean, if we keep crunching down the text small enough so that it's illegible, we got plenty of space. Depends on how big the pop-up is. And
I was going to say the pop-up could be really. I mean, the pop-up could just be really big.
Yep.
And
how about this?
Man, maybe cut down that flavor text.
Or no, or we make the pop-up big enough to show the text, and if it's getting tight, we make the pop-up bigger so people can fucking read it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, like we have a lot of. If this is just a resizable box,
yeah, we're pretty space conservative.
Like, all right, so then if you unlock a yard, you just get a thumbnail of it, no?
And maybe a description. Like the yard's going to have description text when you're picking them, so yard thumbnail's a great idea though. Like, show me, or at the very least, a hand-drawn map by yours truly. Make it look like a.
I'm happy for you to sign up for that.
Sweet.
This is wildly lazy wireframing. I'm just trying to get through them all.
I know.
Okay. Character. What does a character need to show you?
Going to show you the character icon. And some flavor text.
Oh.
That's what happens when someone else changes your panel background in real time. Frame.
What like
what
character? What do you know? What do players want to know about characters?
So Big Biz Bill locked from start. Unlock him would be nice to know, like to get some text about what he deals in.
Seems like this is mostly a usable template. Do you want to actually see any of the items that that person deals in, or is the text fine enough?
I think the text is fine enough, especially because we have there are different per map. There are different versions of these characters that have different stuff in them and their shop cycle. That I think text description is just going to be good as is. Doesn't pen us in too much.
Okay, craft time reduction.
That is a bunch of. So we talked, and I believe it's in the roadmap about having to meta tag some stuff in some way or something like that. What this really needs to show you is
Tag stuff.
Think.
Are you talking about like a property modification system?
I'm talking about. I just may have
I see. Like
tags.
I have achievement. I have an achievement that reduces tree grow time.
Yep.
And how do we tell you what a tree is?
Mm-hmm.
So, item meta tag.
Yeah. Which means that there may be some generic icons coming for this, which is like I make.
Do you want to do that?
I mean,
do you have to do that when what we can do under here is put a bunch of
all the things with the tag?
Put a bunch of example item icons here. Yeah.
Do you want to do you want to be exhaustive? Because I don't think it's good to put, I don't think it's good to put 5 of the trees down there.
Why do you say that? Tell me more.
Because we're calling out that you're getting explicitly a time reduction on specific outputs.
You're saying that it'll be misinterpreted to be
only these trees.
This achievement is just maple trees when really it's any tree.
Yeah, or especially when you put 5 in and you're like, hey, this is like maple pine. And here's the other thing. We may have an achievement that gives you, now this is a terrible example, but like gives you speed on the cheap trees. And then we may have a separate achievement that gives you a speed bump on olive and ebony. And maybe it makes sense. I'm saying maybe it makes sense to not do the meta tag, to literally say these are the exact thing. Like look up which things have that tag and just put them in there.
So we just have the name.
Give me the fucking list.
And then we just do the whole. Yeah. Yep. That definitely makes sense. Now you don't have to make a bunch of throwaway icons for just this purpose that we're going to have to teach people what they mean.
And if we are doing it this way, we don't actually need to reveal. And we talked about this earlier. Like we don't need to reveal the meta tags. Those are more for us those can be more for us in data to call a tree recipe than anything else. Now this could get weighty.
Do you mean
heavy in terms of how many things are in it?
There could just be a lot of things here. Yep.
So that's something we're going to have to worry about.
Does this collection just need to be able to grow and scroll?
I absolutely needs to be able to scroll. 100%. But like you can imagine like anything on trees, anything on vegetables, anything on like a general like, hey, livestock's faster. Like it's gotta maybe we're barking up the wrong tree, so to speak.
Oh,
Um, because I mean, we also have to figure that these recipe lists are going to grow over time and that more things are going to show up with that tag. And we're not going to have to redo everything. We just put the tag on the new recipe and say, hey, this one's faster. We don't show, right now, we don't show
do
that
you
tag.
want to do that? Like, I imagine like there's got to be a point where you say like, no, I need a new tag for this new class of items.
If it makes sense, the point, like, my point here is that, like, I put in a crap ton of trees because I was like, trees, 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 trees.
Yep.
Um, if I wanted to add whatever the one kind of tree that I don't have in the game is, uh, tree X. I don't. I think it should be counted in a tree chopping achievement. Like I want to be able to just roll it into this buff. At which point, I'd make the new tree type and I would put the tag on all the recipes that chop down that tree, and everything would go on. It'd be
I think
entertaining.
that's fine. I like I mean, I'm not worried about discovering which items I need to put in this list. Like that's all in data. Just query for it when you open this. So I think that's all right. I mean, you can add these things after the fact, and then because like the achievement, the data for the achievement can't list the items explicitly. It just has to have the tag, and the tag has to be on items.
Right. Or
Right?
recipes.
Yeah. I don't see a problem yet. I guess is maybe what
Okay.
I'm trying to say.
I do wonder though, like as soon as I get to a list this big, it's like, am I just being a fucker? And should I just call it trees and then fix any bug when someone tells me this is really a tree? Why isn't it on here? Like, I feel like I should keep these achievements simple enough where the text description that I get on here, the yappity blah, should cover it. And I should word it the right way. And I think it'll be fine because I'm starting to think no one really needs to check our math on exactly which ones. And they will see one when it's a bug and be like, this should have been sped up. And then it'll be in the change list for the next update that, like, oops, I'm a dummy. Um, rather
So,
than,
so are you saying that we don't need the icons
I
of
don't think,
all impacted items?
I don't think we do.
Okay.
I think we're cool enough where we don't need them.
It leaves a lot more to. I like the clarity of information with all the icons present. In the situation you're talking about, and maybe I'm just not understanding it. In the situation you're talking about, we've forgotten to tag an item, so it doesn't get the buff, right?
Yeah, so you can immediately see when you're playing the game that you screwed up before you release it. I think that makes sense. All right, you swayed me. We'll put all the icons in.
I love it. I love it. I didn't even finish making my argument because
Yeah, I know because
I mean,
because it's perfect.
yeah, like either way, you're gonna have the bug. It'll be easier to figure it out if the icons are out there. If the icons aren't there, people just won't know.
Yep. We'll just put them in, and sometimes it'll be long, and sometimes you'll scroll it.
Yeah. Okay, next one. What did we, craft outputs.
Problem solved.
This
See?
is, this is fun. There's a bunch of
See,
stuff.
if I milled this around by myself, I would just be miserable for a day.
What's this next one? Output amounts. Probably need to do a whole like these all need to be overhauled the whole time, but this is way more detail. Started with, so that's good. All right, increase craft output. This works the same way, right? Like there's item meta tags. And instead of the amount of time reduced, it's just amount of increased output.
Yeah,
And then a bunch of icons again, right?
I think so.
Okay. Bingo, done. Starting money. This like needs way less of everything.
Yeah, that's like cash money icon and amount.
Whoops, I deleted my frame. Oh, come on. Sure. Good enough government work. All right. All right. So to recap, what we have here is an achievement screen. You navigate it using your phone.
Mm-hmm.
At the top level, there's a list of achievements, and it is sorted based on. Okay. It's sorted based on your progress. Based on progress, but we're probably gonna have a million achievements where your progress is the same, mostly 0. So what is the second sort criteria?
Do we need to sort of meta this thing where so on the left in here, I've got them sorted by like easy, medium, hard. Do you think it makes sense for us to just apply some secondary order on this? Where like the cow level is at the bottom if you don't have anything for it. And it's like complexity here. Does it just make sense for us to edit down some of them?
What do you mean edit down? I think I know everything else you're talking about, but what do you mean by edit down?
We just make categories for these that aren't like super. They don't even need to be player facing, but like if there's 3 bundles of them, and if you have no progress in anything, the first bundle is always shown at the top, the second bundle is always in the middle, and things in the third bundle are always at the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, we can certainly give them like a complexity. So you call it a complexity kind of rating?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. If that's a 1 to 3, then we need another sort criteria. So within easy, medium, and hard achievements, how do we sort those?
Correct.
Like part of me thinks, I mean, maybe you can do it. Maybe you do it this way. Maybe easy achievements are, in the 0 to 100 range, and medium achievements are in the 1 to 200 range, and hard achievements are in the 2 to 300 range. And that way, you can see when you're working in the data that like, okay, this is easy because I gave it 131.
Oh, you're just saying I just give each one a rank order?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
in a way, like you're designing
No, you're right.
the way I encounter this entire system. Like you probably do want to like think about what order I look at them in,
Saying I wasn't
and just
thinking about that.
just having complete control over it.
No, you're right. They should just have a number. Now that gets superseded when I have crap on the ground that is being audited, like
Well, yeah, because this is then you have some amount of progress.
yeah.
And so that's sorted first. That's still the first criteria.
Yep.
But like when I first start the game, I have 0 progress on anything. So the first achievement I see, I want that to be the one that you think is the first one I should see.
Now the thing is, an achievement like It's a Secret, which requires 666 ground meat, 6 butcher blocks, and 1 butcher stall.
That's
Yeah. I know. This is what being candid's all about. I mean, it'll be apparent to the person once this UI pops up. This will be sorted to the ground until someone does 1 ground meat, and then if that's the only thing on the ground, it will filter up to the top.
Yep.
Which is, I think, is absolutely fine. I'm just like verbally going through it, like
yep.
Something that I've said has.
It'll also be at the end of the list of things you have progress for, because you have 1 out of 666 compared to the 1 out of 30 I've got on pine trees, right?
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. I do think it's tempting. And so, like, if I were, for example, going to give It's a Secret a challenge rating of, say, 666, as long as I got nothing on the ground, it's going to stay below everything 665 and lower. The moment I've got something on the ground, it will go up, but then it falls into the other sorting, and it's going to look at completion amount only at the top, completion percentage, or whatever shenanigans you stuff in there, and then everything else that I've got nothing of will stay sorted in that 1 to 1,000,000 rating. That seems fine.
Okay.
I like it.
Note to self. Achievements need complexity. Okay. Okay. So that was a tangent from the review we were just going through of this high-level screen. It's the entry point to all of this. It's a sorted list. I tap a pill and I get a pop-up with more info, which we've exhaustively sketched out here.
Yes.
I think this is good enough for me.
Sweet.
You know what I need?
What do you need?
I need 5.
Sweet. Sounds good.
Be right back.
Alrighty. You can watch me paint. I wonder if I could just change the camera. This. Ah. Take that. There we go. This is your intermission. Intermission music. Probably should get some. Good times. Let's see. Should have changed the channel topic to painting Warhammer for like 5 minutes.
I'll leave for 2 minutes and you start painting Warhammer minis.
Exactly. That's better than me just sitting here in silence. All right, fix that.
Which one you got there?
Plague Marine.
Nice. I heard there's a whole bunch of
Oh my God, Will.
new rules for you to sort through.
Oh my gosh. I pulled out 20 Poxwalkers that I just had lying around from an eBay score eons ago that I never got to. I still got tons more to do. I have to field 150 against you at some point.
There's so many.
It is so many. But now the codex looks really good. The detachments sound fun and very different. So there's absolutely like a Demon Engines one. There's one that's very like character based. There's one that's Poxwalkers everywhere. There's one that, and they're doing this for all 4 like god aligned Chaos Legions. There's one that's you can't just drop demons anymore. There's like a demons detachment. But then it gets its own sort of like special rule on it. So like me dropping Nurglings into my Death Guard army, just sprinkling them, there's no more like 500 points and you just sprinkle these guys in. There's a specific detachment, and what that one does is if you're within the holy number 7, if you're within 7 inches, if your Death Guard guys are within 7 inches of a demon, they spread contagion 3 inches further. And if a demon is within 7 inches of a Death Guard, they get the aura. So like that whole detachment is about like spreading contagion over the whole map. And if you think about it, a lot of demons have deep strike. So like you could sort of do this weird pain chain up the board of like keeping your guys within the holy number of 7 inches and just like spreading contagion all over the place.
It's interesting that it's 7 because so many like adjacency bonuses are in 6 inches, like
6s and 9s.
Yep. Heroic intervention is 6 inches.
Yep.
The CSM abilities we were playing at the last time were 6
inches.
But
the holy number is 7, and it will be respected.
Fine.
Yeah, but and so you can't just sprinkle in Nurglings to get some deep strike stuff, but Poxwalkers are now infiltrators. And the Poxwalker one is they become battle line, which means you can have up to 6 units and you can go up to 20 with each one. And then turn 2, 3, and 4 in a 2,000 point game. You just pull in an extra 10 Poxwalkers.
It's a ridiculous amount of Poxwalkers. Why do you need so many Poxwalkers? Like you're not, like you're even getting I don't know. Typhus is broken. Maybe you don't have Typhus.
Zombie horde. You absolutely put Typhus in that army.
Yeah, so, like it just seems so egregious. But you know what? We're talking about Warhammer, which is
but like you can either chew through that much. I mean, it's a narrative that comes up in the books like routinely. Like either you could chew through that much Poxwalker, or you can't. And so like you really flex on the other army. Like Poxwalkers are not tough to destroy. They do come back a bit, but like, can you get through that much of a zombie crowd to get to an objective? I mean, it's an absolute like party for like world eaters who just want to get into melee like all the time. But then like, is it too much?
Probably really fun to kill a bunch of poxwalkers. That's
Yep. It's a double-edged sword too, because you think about any of the objectives or any of the missions that are like every time you kill a unit, like, ugh. I mean, a lot of those are capped a little bit, but still super fun. I'm literally going to paint up, though some of them may be a little proxies, 150 poxwalkers, and I'm going to throw them at you.
okay. Um, that's so many poxwalkers. I'm just gonna be impressed when you paint 150 of them. How are you gonna? What is your strategy gonna be for painting 150 poxwalkers?
Well, I've already started. I've got 20 on this desk right now. Um, because I just had 20 lying around. I am batch painting them. I'm using a lot of contrast paint. Um, I basically like mixing two contrast paints for skin tone, so I get like a little bit of a range from a green to red. So it's like Plague Bear flesh in one side of the dish, Gilliman flesh in the other side of the dish, and just sort of like mixing as I go. So just do a pass on all the skin, then a few different colors for clothing. Uh, Leather will be its own pass of just like the few belts and bags and boots. Um, and then metal, and then I'll probably dip them in something. Um, some sort of wash over the whole crew.
Literally dip them, or you just mean do a wash?
So the temptation is actually to dip them because I do have one of the jars of like it's not army painter, it's Viejo. I do have it comes in like a multi-ounce thing, and you're literally supposed to dip them. The army painter has like jars of like they literally have instructions like dip the thing in, shake it out. I don't think I'll go that far. I'll probably mix up a very thin wash and just use a very big brush and just knock those guys out. So at the very least, the next time we play, even if we play like 1,000 point game, I can put 50 out there.
So many,
sweet.
so many. Like most of the armies I've played don't have close to 50 models in it, right?
Yeah. Like, yeah. Just imagine what you lined up with last time and having, because I get to put them down before you scout. Having a line of 20 poxwalkers across the whole board.
Gross.
9 inches away from your.
I mean, literal screen, right? Like,
yeah.
Find some way to cope with that, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, and you'll shoot a bunch of them. Absolutely, you'll basically roll the whole thing up. But hey, it's good times.
It's good times.
I'm pretty psyched about it. All right, so what we pushed through there was the UI that was going to pop up.
Yeah.
With the Chivos app.
Is the Chivos app just going to be mixed in with these?
I don't think mixed. I think it's going to be either at the start or the end. Because the characters are a variable number based on
like
what you
maybe there's a divider here where I'm gesturing with my finger.
I mean, if I pop
like a divider and then it's down in a separate section. Like
I mean,
characters.
We could consider. Oh, you can't see that. Yeah, I was like showing someone else.
Oh no, I can see now.
If I was on an iPhone right now, like at the very bottom of the screen, I do have a bay for 4 things. Provided we don't just have the Chivos app and that's it, it might just always be at the bottom, like a bottom row that's lined up. So what you were describing, just the line would be lower, like a bottom deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like down here.
Yep.
I'm now gesturing wildly instead of.
Yes. So wildly. Do we have any other? I know we were talking about a realtor at some point.
Yeah, which is probably right next to the Chivos app because those are.
What does it even do now, though?
what does the realtor even do? What would you say you do here?
'Cause for a while, when we were talking about the realtor, it was like, hey, the realtor is like, you unlock these achievements for yards, blah blah blah. And now I'm starting to wonder if we even need it if that is even a character.
Realtor. So right now we have it penciled in as like there's a contact in your phone for the realtor. The realtor's screen affords the button that packs you up and leaves.
Oh, that's right. That is
And
the
then
summation of your bullshit.
this is the person that asks, like, hey, are you ready? You sure you're ready to go? Got your van packed? Like, so I think having a character backing it is good. But they literally might be just the place for the pack up and leave button.
I think so. Okay, so that does make sense. So we at least to start at like beginning of early access have two things. I think we can occupy a bottom row for that. I think that works. I feel much better about that.
Just gonna snip this over to the Miro. Sketch that in. And I'm doing it off stream, which I know is
It's not that bad.
not ideal.
All right, do we want to just not want to knock out what is in that screen now?
In the realtor screen?
Yeah.
All right. Here. I will go back to the
Yeah.
How do I use a computer? Here we go. These are the buttons. Stop doing that. Start doing this again.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that programmer art. Straight cooking.
Yeah. Ch.
All right, so wow, okay.
Thanks.
It's impressive. All right, so the realtor is a couple of things. One, it's a reminder that you've accomplished. Like, here's the thing that I'm concerned about: is the overlap between the Chivos app and the realtor. But the realtor is the interface to pack up, which is good. It does need to show you the things that you will be getting if you leave right now. So maybe this does take a little bit of heat off of the Chivos UI in terms of going like, here is what you get if you leave, would be like whatever listings of achievements you've got 100%, or requirements in the audit you've got 100%. I don't know if that's good. I am rambling a little bit.
Yeah, no, they're really close to each other in terms of functionality. Like, one is a sorted list of everything with your progress, and one is like, okay, let's just make it clear that this is what you're getting.
Yes, if I piece out right now, this is what I'm getting.
And we could try to condense that into what the Chivo screen does.
I don't want to put the interactivity of like I feel like the click through of burning my entire level to the ground and leaving needs to be in its own special place.
Okay. Yeah, and that'll just give us like way more space to convey all the gravity of that. Okay, so this screen. This. Oh boy. Get my drawing out of here.
It's not the two-legged realtor anymore.
No, it's still. Oh, this is like text space. Yeah, and then all this goes. Yeah, yeah, a person with shoulders.
This is like the greatest advertisement for this game of all time. I gotta tell you, man, drawing not on a Cintiq. It's pretty wild. Big smiley face.
Oh, you know what? We actually did need this pill, didn't we?
We do need that pill. Though I wonder if it is like an even higher level version. Like all it cares about, I don't think it has any of the numbers on it. I don't even think it has. I don't know if it is that pill. I think it is the awards. Whatever you're getting awarded.
Okay, yeah, that's all you care about at this point.
Yeah. Like you will leave with this crap.
You don't even need a pill. It's just this is what you get. This is what you're getting. And then the leave button is probably big and red and at the bottom here.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't exactly have that text in it, but
That's what the button does. Um and it need the flow after that very much needs to be like check your flippin' van, pack your
Yep.
like
so that much, yeah, and that is tracked in the list of stuff to do. Looking at it now, what? Yeah, so it manifests as a literal like pop-up conversation from the realtor. Conversation is just a pop-up with somebody's portrait on it, and then they ask if you have packed your van and are ready to go. You get a yes, no, and if you say yes, the van drives off, and if you say no, we cancel the flow.
sweet.
We can kind of model that here, but I think it's simple enough
Okay.
that I got it. What else? What else? I mean, you do kind of have a lot of space to work with now.
We do.
There's probably some.
I am actually pretty fine with us taking that big red button and making it a big red button. Like a nuke big red button.
What do you mean, like this? Like what do you mean?
Pretty close to that. Like space for the rewards, but like literally making it a visually big red, maybe looks like old school button that you push in. Like like video
Ren,
game.
Ren and Stimpy's Space Madness red button.
Yeah, good example.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we could get ridiculous with it and be like, put two little icons of keys that you have to turn. You have to like turn the key, hit the red button, or like flip the thing open. Flip the thing open would be dope. And totally like immersion breaking, but immersion making. Like
What's the no, I got it. You have you can start your car with your phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
and in so many games you have the button that like a button that you need to be really sure about. You have to hold it down as the.
It's like,
So what if it's the ignition to your car and you got to hold it down for the required time?
yeah, that sounds like a good idea. It's still going to give you an "Are you sure?" but like,
Yeah. Try to make this look 3D. But yeah. Play a nice ignition sound when you say I'm sure.
is it room?
A little weird that the realtor screen will have the controls to your car, but whatever.
Well, I don't think it's gonna like legit look like that. I think it's gonna look like a big red button, a big nuke button.
Okay. What else we got?
Good question. I have disappoint with this
Just start blocking out
other thing. All right.
my stuff.
All right, and then if flow is yes, then peace out. And I go back to like a main menu screen to pick a new map.
Yeah, there's like a whole it's like a whole fanfare sketched out. There's when I'm ready to go, van drives off and a fanfare plays. And now I can select from a few yards. Yeah, so what does that screen look like? We can do that screen now.
Yeah. God, we have so much time, Will. There's so much time to design things.
It's a ridiculous amount of time.
It is a ridiculous amount of time.
4 hours is good. Yeah, tell me what you're thinking here. Like,
I think that this one is kind of blue sky. Strangely enough, we've only got 15 minutes left. Time flies. I mean, this is like a full screen, is it not?
yeah. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is the wrong. This, you're right. It's a square, and it's more like this.
Yeah. Choose your
So
fighter.
this is just like what my mind's eye summoned with no,
Purely whispers of the warp.
Yeah, this is just pure winging it.
I hate
Like
it.
this. This is what.
This is appalling.
This is appalling.
This isn't what I signed up for, Will.
This is the screen, Z. What's wrong with this?
Get some more coffee and pour some gasoline in it.
All right, I'll gussy it up while you're getting coffee.
There you go. Now I got it. Ugh. I think it's perfect. So what?
Before we have this one out,
yeah,
I did receive the feedback that the audio is a little low.
Audio is a little low from all of us.
I'll clarify.
Because I'm like roaming around. Your mic is strapped to your head.
Yeah, that's true. Now it's probably louder because it's closer to my face. That's a good jam.
It's a good jam.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the text that's most likely to have sent you.
Yeah, it's good. Controversial. Pick the next yard.
Just phoning it in now because it's 4:30.
I think that at this point we're gonna need some sort of abstraction of what the yard looks like. So I think I'm gonna just have to do like either hand drawn map or like maybe a cheesy not architectural. When you buy a piece of property, there's that very much black on white, very top down. Like here's the layout of the thing with some like blocked out things. Um,
Oh yeah, the like architectural.
yeah, but like there's just like land plot drawings, like what you'd find in the town, um, the town hall, where you're like, huh, who owns the property lines on blah blah blah. So I think
Well, there's got to be a superficial name for that.
uh,
Plot drawing.
it's like
A plot plan. How do I create a plot plan?
I want a floor plan.
According to homedesignersoftware.com, it's a plot plan.
Oh, yeah,
That's cool.
sweet. So we'll do something like that. Um, it needs a description. And it probably, yeah, something like that.
It's got like more.
Yeah, but like in that style, um, they're all conveniently going to be square. But you know, you can gussy it up with. Well, I can gussy it up with like, you know, if the bottom left corner is still like a couple of square patches of trees, like it'll just be a line that's sort of like that. It needs a description, and it needs, even if it's on mouse over, given the fact that the contacts are per yard, I think it needs to tell you what contacts are in there. And in some cases, it might be like Sarah's picture's got a lock over it, or Big Biz Bill has a lock over him because he's available in this yard, but you have not chivoed him out.
Um,
I'm gonna crank your mic as well, by the way.
Something like that. Whoop! How'd that happen? What's that? Get out of here. Okay.
I think you want to. Is this a decent characterization spot where I select a yard and the realtor says, "Hey, this is a wonderful," like he gives you the realty shtick, or at least put the character in the description is below each one of the like. I guess what I'm getting at is depending on the length of the description, it might be good to have a dedicated place and not have three description things in there. That makes sense. Like you select from three different pictures. Do you think that's good?
Well, now we have like the selection. We have a selection thing to do, but like maybe that's fine.
And like in the, I select one of them, and then in that description thing that pops up is where the like go button is. Yeah, the realtor.
This is now the canonical realtor icon.
It is.
If we do it this way, I have to show you which one you have highlighted. There's like a confirm button now instead of, which I like better. That's actually better. Like you tap it and then more info shows up. So let's put the confirm is like the worst word for this button. What would this button actually say?
Can you unselect it?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna have to get into my inner realtor voice and be like, oh, delighted.
Yeah. Yep.
This may get like there may end up being. I think we should just do this as a first pass, but like there may end up being a couple things that find their way in that are like consistent property to property, like size or something like that. Um, like
Like what?
like size, like this 30
Oh,
by
okay.
30.
Size.
Like if it's always the case, like it may be that on the actual icon for it, the little map, it's like at least in the corner is like, yo, it's a 30 by 30. Yeah, I think that makes sense. At which point, like if we had the first one selected, it'd be like I'm gonna read a lot of realty crap. This cozy property boasts delicious mines for your mining needs. City water is available for free, for a fee. Excuse me, not for free. You'll be delighted with the beautiful pine and birch growing throughout the like that kind of thing. I suppose if they selected the middle one, it'd be like stretch your legs in this spacious blah 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 blah.
And then this one's highlighted, so now it's got to be ordered in some way.
Yeah.
That's a little subtle, but whatever. Hold on. Trust me.
I know. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Shift page down. That's my honking selection box.
That's not bad. I was gonna say I think you can just. Oh, maybe not. All right.
Oh, you know what I want? I want this button to be centered under the selected yard.
That makes sense. And this gives us enough room to play where if we want to make these big and nice and chunky, we can do that. And then we need a place for a secret code.
Oh my god.
In fact, it may be funny to just slap it over on the side, and if you type in a proper secret code, it actually pops up a fourth thing right here. Like you could have this be non-existent until you type in a secret code that goes somewhere, and then it's a selectable thing. And it's always just one slot. And if you want to change it, you change the code.
Struggling to find where the secret code goes.
I think that's an excellent challenge. And so this is off to the right is non-existent unless you put a valid code in, and it is very much not centered.
Okay,
It's like
that's like part of what's bothering me.
yeah, I know. This is good. It's good for you.
I think the bottom middle for the secret code text box is the best I got. And unless you can come up with a different spot or a reason to put it somewhere else, that's where it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, I could. So as long as you don't touch anything for a while, I can undo this. If you interleave touchings, we'll have a problem.
Okay, no touching. I got it.
Could do something like that. I'll just say don't do it a few times.
Well, nope, I got no follow-up. Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm just struggling with this UI problem.
We could move it every single major build we do.
Oh, that's so awful. I get your point though. It doesn't have to be set in stone.
It doesn't.
Certainly not. It's just junk
I
ship.
personally think it's a little bit funny for it to be like feel like an addition, even though it's been in there the whole time. If my sense of humor doesn't land well, then I'm fine with like making it feel more permanent. But it being a hack,
You're saying that because it's a hacker's feature that it can look hacky?
I'm saying that it can look asymmetrical because of that. Like I have seen some games that have done a very good job. I think maybe Dungeons of Dreadmore did this, where like when you have enough stat buffs or whatever, it's literally just like they put a little scroll piece of paper off to the side of the UI and they just list them that way, rather than like embedded.
Yeah, I guess part of me just thinks that like we could probably solve this a better way. Like maybe that fourth tile is blocked off. Honestly, what's going to happen when I make the UI kit for this screen, right? When I do the UI kit stuff, like it's going to be hard to make it not center once the fourth one is added.
God, is that the ultimate checkmate?
I'm not trying to.
I know.
I'm trying to win a game of chess.
I know.
I'm not trying to win a game of chess. I just feel like.
But what I'm saying is like, is there even a response I can make to that I believe in? And I don't think that there is. I don't feel like you're defeating me. I feel like the UI toolkit is.
It does.
In a very practical sense. All right, put it in.
I think what's going to happen is that the secret code. I think here's what I think I like. The fourth tile is just like a grayed out icon of some sort that implies that like something would go here, and then when you enter something in the secret code that's legit, it fills in. That way, it all sorts properly. And there's a little bit more real estate devoted to this idea that there's a fourth cool thing you could have if you knew the secret. That feels better to me, actually.
It doesn't to me, but I concede. I would like to see
Why
this.
not? Because it's you would prefer, and I'll put this back. You would prefer it look like this when there is no code punched in.
Yep.
That's fair.
The feeling that you broke the game sort of manifests itself in when I pop the thing up. It's like it feels absolutely extra and wasn't possible before I took this crazy action.
So you would prefer it to be not centered like this, right?
I would prefer it to be like this.
Okay. All right. You know what?
You know what I would do?
I just won't make it part of the same list as the other.
I was just gonna say, like, I would make the 3 be absolutely centered, and I would just make a thing, maybe even like aligned right with some padding on the right of just like. I might eat.
Yeah, what if this one is like.
Yep. There you go. That's what I'm talking. That okay. So now you actually perfected it. That is what's correct.
Yeah,
That
this
right
is.
there.
I agree that this is correct.
Yeah, that is.
We could jitter the rotation a little bit each time you put in a new code, so it's like.
Yep.
It's like slapped on there.
This is fun.
This is fun. All right. It's 4:45.
We did it.
We did it.
So on that note, I will kill off this stream. If you want to stay on the call for a minute, we just sort of quickly, briefly chat about, I don't know.
Yeah, reflect.
Reflect.
It's time to reflect. This is my reflection time.
Reflect. But I feel good about this. The time went by really fast. We got a crap ton done.
Yeah, look at zoom out. Show all the pictures we drew.
All the UI BS. So anyway, the folks that dropped in and checked it out, we're hopefully doing this on Mondays and Wednesdays at about, what is it, 2:15?
Mondays and Thursdays.
Mondays and Thursdays, excuse me, 2:15 to 4:45 Eastern time.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
do you like that time slot? Do you want it to be longer?
I think this time slot's pretty good.
You could start earlier, but
we're not going later. We ain't living that life. So anywho, thanks a bunch for those who checked it out, and we will see you Thursday. Bye-bye.